Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a still life in soft pastel. This little mulled wine setup is something a bit cozy, something a bit wintry, and I'm planning to release the full demo over on my Patreon channel to all members, so you don't have to be a paying member over on Patreon. So I'll add the link in the description below. Come and check it out if you'd like to paint along with me. This little piece is just 8 inches by 6 inches, and I'm working on the brown colour of pastel matte paper. Just something mid-tone, and actually I prefer working on papers with a bit of warmth to them usually. I'm using mostly Unison soft pastels with just a couple of Terry Ludwigs, and you'll see a bit later that I'm also making use of some pastel pencils just to neaten and find some smaller details. But a lot of the main bulk of work is done with the bigger sticks. And you can see that I just layer up lots of colours. I'm blending as I go. And I tend to try and find the dark areas first. So you'll hear all about that in the full length tutorial of this. I'll be talking, as usual, a lot about the colour choices. But this year I've been working on some little still life studies over the festive season. I decided to set up some little still lifes and take some photos. And as always, I'll be releasing a little photo pack of those over on Patreon for anyone who wants to have a go at a slightly different image to the one I'm working on. This was the one that I chose. I do favour a little trio normally when I'm setting up a still life. And I wanted to keep the background very simple. I had a nice colour of work top that I thought would work nicely with the colours of the orange and the lemon. And I think you can see in the painting process just how pleasing it is when I bring in those oranges and yellow tones in amongst all the blues and violets. So I don't often paint fruit. I don't paint many still lifes, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed this one in particular because of all of the reflecting light. So you find colour in all sorts of odd places, whether it's in the shadow on the tabletop or whether it's reflecting in one of the other objects. So this vibrant little lemon here tends to reflect everywhere. We get some of the warmth of it in the shadow below. We get some of the green in the shadow below. We also get the lemon reflecting on the orange just on the side. And later on you'll see the lemon reflecting in the side of this glass. So the best thing about working on a still life, I think, is that it really trains up your observation skills. It gives you a small little landscape to deal with, and you can really dissect that and discover how the light affects each object. It's a lot of fun to observe something like this and just looking for where the colours are dancing around the piece. Where can I add some reflective colour that really brings it to life? And then, of course, there are several other little tricks that I wanted to try out, like creating the steam on the glass. That's something I haven't really done before. So there's always something new to learn, and I really love that by making my tutorials. It tends to push me into territories that I'm not completely comfortable with. I really enjoy making the demos, even when I'm out of my comfort zone. And it feels good to experiment and to push yourself further. And that is what I hope my tutorials can do for others. So I've also got videos here on YouTube about how to set up a still life. In fact, I've got another still life project which is available from beginning to end here on YouTube. And this also includes guidance on setting up the still life, on drawing from life, so right through the whole process. But this little demo is just over 3.5 hours long. I'm enjoying these smaller pieces because it means I can get through more ideas, which is really nice. I really like to paint big as well, but a big painting is a big commitment to see it through. And so I'm really enjoying playing with ideas and experimenting more on a smaller scale. So just starting to build up the texture of the steam on the glass. What I realized there was that blending a little bit less and just using the pastel stick itself to kind of scumble on a very thin layer of the pigment. That's what seemed to work best for the steamy areas. So it's almost like when you're painting, like in oils, where you would glaze a color over the top of the color below. This is something that I do with soft pastel a lot. I'm not always applying the pigment thickly or trying to make solid color. A lot of the time, I am thinking of the next colors that I'm going to put down and how I can layer up the colors, leaving little bits of translucency here and there to show those lovely colors underneath. It's such a vibrant medium. You can use it with a certain amount of transparency in your layers, or you can paint a little heavier and get really solid, opaque color. But what I love about using this medium, which is pretty matte in appearance, is how you can create shine or glisten or sparkle, and it's all in your usage of the colors. So creating enough contrast. If you've got bright sparkly bits to add to anything or an important bit of bright highlight, the best tip I can give you is to make sure that the colors surrounding your brightest area are dark enough to help contrast it. So something I'm always saying in my tutorials, there is only so bright white that you can actually go. It's better, in fact, to adjust the colors around your bright color. Because, as I'm always saying as well, color is relative. So how you see a color really depends on who its neighbors are. And you can see here that I'm trying to continue the dance of the light, really, which is bringing some of these lovely reflected colors into the glass. So in the full-length demo, this will be in real time. You will have my narration all the way through as I chatted while I was painting this one, so you will hear all parts of my thought process throughout this. There will also be the color codes that my patrons have come to enjoy on my tutorials. Those color codes pop up in my longer tutorials because sometimes, as you can see, the pastels get quite grubby as I progress throughout the painting, and sometimes it's hard to see exactly what color I'm using. So the color codes popping up in some of my tutorials just help you see exactly what I'm using. It's not necessary for you to use exactly the same colors, but I think that it does at least help that you can see what color I'm using to be able to choose a substitution or to find that exact color if you're missing something similar. So the little star anise going in. Try not to get too fiddly and too carried away with the details, but I also wanted this to be a recognizable shape, so I do spend a little bit of time on it. So as I said at the start, you don't have to be a paying subscriber on my Patreon channel. Just come and follow me there and you'll get access to this demo, which I'm releasing as a little bonus really to celebrate the new year and to thank everyone for continuing to follow me over on Patreon. Without their support, I wouldn't be making any of these videos. And anytime you see anything released on YouTube, I don't really make much money here on YouTube, to be honest. And it's really the support of my patrons who fund all of my videos. So I'll add the link in the description below. Everyone here is welcome to come and check out this full-length demo. And just as an added note in this video, for those of you who may have followed my Instagram account in the past, I have disappeared from there. I've been getting asked over on Facebook by some people who follow me there as well. I got my account hacked just over a month ago, and the account is completely deleted at this stage, and I don't really have much hope for getting it back. So I haven't decided to disappear off Instagram. I would love to get my channel back, but if you've been wondering why I've just disappeared from there, that's why. So thank you very much for following me on whatever social media platform you can find me on. I'm still posting away over on my Facebook page. And I really appreciate your support here, and coming into 2025, I'm really looking forward to what projects I can work on this year and what videos I can share with you. So as always, please do hit subscribe here. That helps me a lot. Thanks very much for watching. Happy New Year and lots of happy pasteling.